And continuing our coverage of the Egypt Senate elections of 2025, we have the pleasure to be joined over the phone by Dr. Nevine Nakhla, the Professor of Management. Good evening, Dr. Nevine.
Good evening.
I hope you're doing well, and as we have been seeing in the past few hours, especially at 7 p.m. and at 4:30 p.m. as well, Councillor Ahmed bin Dari held an evening conference and on updates of the voting by Egyptians abroad in the first day of the elections, of the Senate elections of 2025, and the voting process has been reported to be going smoothly and regularly, and the efforts by the National Egyptian Authority for Elections was hailed, as it has facilitated and supervised everything quite smoothly. So in this regard, Professor Nevine, we would like to know your assessment of the efforts done by the National Election Authority here in Egypt across the globe.
First of all, congratulations for the very successful day today.
Yes.
We have 14 million Egyptians living abroad outside of Egypt.
Yes.
And we saw the election centers around 120 something around the world participating in the Senate election. For our Egyptians abroad, the diaspora is a cornerstone of democratic engagement.
Yes.
And very profound implications for the governance, representation, individual empowerment. And we saw the success today and the hard work in the organization and the preparation of the day today,
yes.
and how everything was done very professionally and very a lot of governance, a lot of transparency, of course, and also the people who went.
Yes.
The number of people participated is very representative, and it made us all Egyptians proud all over Egypt, all
yes.
over the world, I mean.
Yes, Dr. Nevine, speaking of the audience and people, for the average Egyptian citizens, why must they go and cast their vote, and how does their ballot actually make a difference? What's at stake for the ordinary citizens, and why must they join these elections?
This is a very important election to be joined.
Yes, sure.
First of all, it shows the Egyptian engagement in the policy making and in participation in the Senate election is very crucial.
True.
Of course, the Senate elections allow citizens to choose their representatives who will legislate on their behalf.
Yes.
And elected senators are accountable to the voters, and regular elections ensure the responsiveness to public needs.
Yes.
Also, the Senate plays a very key role in shaping national laws, approving Egyptian budgets, and overseeing executive actions. The voters' participation ensures that these decisions reflect the will of the people, and especially as you are mentioning, the normal people, they have to feel that they are really represented by the correct representation, that they have their voice.
Yes, their voices are heard.
Exactly, and yes. If people did not choose the right representation for themselves, how can they assure of a lot of national laws and approving budget and overseeing executive actions? So also campaigns and debates during the Senate elections show the citizen the key issues and policy differences It is a very important process, and it's a very important right for every Egyptian.
Of course.
It's his right to choose who will represent him and her in the Senate.
Of course, Dr. Nevine. So, in light of this as well, how do you have you seen any signs of the young ones engaging in this cycle, especially that the young people, they need a representation? So, how do you see their turnout, or I would say their engagement with the election process? The importance of their engagement specifically.
Yes, of course. Egypt has one of the youngest populations in the world, and we have like 60% of our youth are under the age of 28 in Egypt. And youth engagement is very important. We also, we're not only talking about the youth engagement in choosing the representation and choosing who will be a Senate for their voices to be heard. No, we saw also something which is higher and even more respectable. We saw in the Senate running for elections young people also. There are in the running for the election young people that want to be voted for. So this engagement, it is giving Egyptians the power and giving the youth their voice is powerful and their voice is heard. And
yes.
Each voice matters.
That's true. Yes, Dr. Nevine, in light of the political aspect for the elections, how do you see, or how might the Senate composition influence Egypt's broader political and economic direction in the next 5 years? What are the positive impacts that we are going to be anticipating?
A lot of impacts. And the Senate in general, they have a lot of impact. They have the advisory power.
Yes.
The Senate acts as an advisory council to the President and to the House of Representatives. Also, it provides expert opinions on constitutional amendments, draft laws, treaties related to sovereign rights. Also improved legislation composed of specialists from different and various fields and different and various sectors.
Yes.
A Senate helps to put laws more accurately and professionally. And of course, a Senate ensures that legislation is well informed and inclusive and aligned with national interests.
Yes.
A lot of societal representation. The Senate increased the social representation by including voices from diverse backgrounds, including women, including youth, including everyone. Also is like an upper house of the Parliament. The Senate complements the House of Representatives by offering a second layer of review. This is policy development. The Senate contributes to developing general policies and economic and social programs,
Yes.
shapes long-term strategies that affect education and health and infrastructure and everything around. So it is a very important election, and choosing the right Senate to represent the country is very crucial.
Of course.
And for the runners to be in this stage already, they passed through a lot of checks and a lot of tests and a lot of diversification in the choice of the runners for Senate.
Yes, Professor Nevine, your point is quite very valid, actually. Also, in the political aspect, we'd like to know your opinion on this matter, which is what kind of cooperation should we be expecting between the upcoming Senate and the House of Representatives?
It's like a crystal bond. And the cooperation, it is forever very important and very crucial. This cooperation, the Senate and the House of Representation, they operate within a dual chamber parliamentary system.
Yes.
And the cooperation is structured and complementary. As we said, the advisory role of the Senate does not have legislative authority, but plays a very consultative role. It gives opinions on constitutional amendments and draft laws, very complementary to the Constitution, treaties involving peace, alliance, general social and economic development plans, public policy, name it. Also, the House of Representatives holds legislative power,
Yes.
but it may refer to draft laws to the Senate for expert review and recommendation.
Yes.
This helps to ensure the laws are well informed and reflected broader societal input.
Yes.
Also, the two chambers sometimes may hold joint meetings to discuss national issues, and the meeting fosters dialogues and cooperation between lawmakers and government ministers, for example.
Yes.
It's a crystal bond, and it's a very important cooperation.
So we could expect that this Senate will actually help in the shaping and the assessment in creating the laws and making it much more better for the people. So what are the things that Egyptians should be waiting for or anticipating after the elections, like the results of the elections? What should the Egyptians be expecting?
Egyptians, we all Egyptians, first of all, we should
Yes.
really be powerful and be standing for our rights. And each Egyptian, each voice matters.
Of course.
In choosing the right Senate that represent them. We should expect balanced governance with expert input and democratic representation. We expect efficient lawmaking that reflects both technical expertise and public interest.
Yes.
We are seeing great transparency and accountability in the government decisions. We expect a good and a correct and a right representation of all Egyptians with all their sectors by the diversified Senate with their different expertise.
Yes, Professor Nevine. Finally, we'd like to shed light back on the very first thing that we had mentioned, which were the conferences held by the Councillor Ahmed Benderi today at 4:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. as well, where the Councillor had spoke with ambassadors across the globe through a virtual video conference, and we were informed that the process is going smoothly. How do you assess the logistics of the National Election Authority and the follow-up they have been doing with all the Egyptian embassies across the globe?
First of all, this is Egypt, and this is our country with a very strategic planning and strategic management across the globe, across all embassies and across all Egyptians abroad, and everything was done with a strategic vision. Everything was done very professionally.
Yes.
And with what you call international standards, very transparent, very straightforward, and very good planning. And more than the good planning is very good implementation of the strategy to reach everyone at the same time with the same message, to encourage people to go and choose their Senate all over the world. We are proud of our country, and we are proud of when we manage any event, when we manage our political scene, we manage it with pride and with very professional strategic planning.
Yes, Dr. Nevine, thank you so much for being with us over the phone on Nile TV International. We had the pleasure to have Dr. Nevine Nakhla, the professor of management, and she gave us more highlights on the current Egyptian Senate of 2025 that had began today. The casting of the votes had begun today across abroad, and we are anticipating the local Senate elections starting in Egypt on the 4th of August. Stay tuned for more updates, and thank you for watching Nile TV International.